All right, everybody, namaste. The highest in me bows to the highest in you. So first of all, I'm very happy to be here, and I've known Sarita and Sharayu for many years. I think this is the third exhibition I'm attending, and there may have been many more, but I've attended 3. And each time I've really been touched by the experience, I've been stunned by the amazing talent of all the students. And not just their talent, but the way they describe what they've created and the whole intention that's gone behind it. It's not just the outcome, it's the whole process that's very inspiring. So when we were discussing with Sarita and Sharayu that how we can share some of the things that I talk about with the students, so the idea emerged to have what's called a mystery school. And the reason it's called a mystery school is it's a mystery to the students what will happen. I have a rule about cell phones. Whenever it rings, we take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. And say with me, how wonderful. So this is also what we do with the kids, right? So when we said we'll call it a mystery school because it's a mystery to the students what we will do. And it's also a mystery to me what we will do. I like to go with the idea that you don't need to prepare to be who you are. Today's session is called Vibe. It's about being you. What is it like to be you? It takes a lot of preparation to be who you're not. It takes no preparation to be as you are and who you are. And of course, the other aspect of the mystery is, we come from a mystery. We don't know where really we come from, and we don't know where really we go. And in this moment also, while we say, I'm seeing, I'm hearing, I'm tasting, I'm feeling, I'm thinking, but if you say, but who is this I? And suddenly, we don't know much, we don't know. You'll say your name, or you'll say a little bit about yourself, but you actually don't know. It's a big mystery. So it's nice to remember that life is mostly a mystery. We don't really know what it is. If you focus on your thoughts, then you look at life through the filter of what's called history. Then you're not, like some of you, if you've met me before, then you're not really seeing me. You're seeing your thoughts about me, right? So then you're seeing the history. You're not seeing the mystery. So the invitation to look at life the way it actually is, which is that it's a mystery. So whenever we'd have these sessions, I would always begin with my beautiful, some of you know what this is. It's called a singing bowl. For those of you at the back, it looks like this. And it's a hollow bowl. It's got nothing in it. And as I rub the bowl with my stick, you'll notice what happens. We can all take a deep breath. So that was a non-verbal experience. It was an experience of pure vibration, right? Some people tell me when they listen to that sound, their thoughts calm down or their thoughts completely disappear because they're fully immersed in the sound, in the experience. Right? The art we'll be looking at today is an attempt to describe what is essentially non-verbal. And art is the language of the non-verbal. Art is the language of feeling. Art is the language of intuition. The phone rang, deep breath. How wonderful. One thing interesting about this bowl, I don't know how many of you can see this, but if I put my fingers like this, in other words, I'm holding it tight, you'll notice something. No sound is coming. How interesting. So people who've never seen it before, they try to ring it, it'll not ring. Then I'll tell them, hey, open up your fingers. So in other words, don't hold it tight, hold it light. Right? And then what happens? Something amazing happens. It's a good lesson for our parenting journey. You hold it too tight, then all the sound is gone. And then all you get is nothing much. No resonance, right? No depth to it. I found that in my journey that people actually don't remember concepts. They remember stories. There was a teacher who told stories all day long. Throughout the day he'll tell stories. In the evening he'll explain the meaning of the story. And the students loved it. So this went on for a long time. Then one day a student came to him and said, teacher, you tell us fantastic stories. We love your stories. And you tell us the meaning right in the evening. So I have a question. Why not just tell us the meaning? Why spend the whole day telling stories? Just tell us the meaning. It's over. It's finished. He says, sure, I'll explain that to you. But first, I'm a little thirsty. Could you get me water? He says, I'll get you water. So he goes to the kitchen. It's a nice glass of water. And the teacher frowns. He said, I asked for water. Why you got a glass? And the student gets it. Right? You cannot give, how are you going to give water without some container? Right? So the story is a container. Even Sarita told us a story in the beginning. And I can guarantee you, we all got a different lesson from that story. As she was telling the story of that little bug that becomes the dragonfly, I'm sure images came to your mind, feelings came up for you. And we all we had a different meaning. Each of us gave our own meaning to the story. So the story is the container and the water is the meaning. But you cannot get to the meaning unless you have a container. That's the power of stories. One story that touched me. One of my teachers, so I used to be a Buddhist monk for a while. I lived in Thailand and Sri Lanka. And one of my teachers had gone to Australia to start a monastery. Somebody had donated a large piece of land and said, could you please start a monastery here? So he went there. And as most of you know, in Western countries, or even Australia is considered kind of a Western country, labor is very expensive. So when you have to build something, you often have to do it. Land is not the most expensive thing. In India, land is usually the most expensive. Building is not that expensive. But in the West, land is actually not that expensive. The buildings are usually even more expensive. So the monks themselves had to help with the construction work. Now, he's a Buddhist monk. Before he studied and he was a scholar, then he became a monk. He's never done work with his hands. But he's enthusiastic and he said, I want to learn. So he learns how to lay bricks. Right? And he gets better and better at it. Now one day the teacher says, there's a wall that we need built over here. Can you build the wall? He says, I'll build the wall. And in his mind he makes a decision, I'm going to make a perfect wall. I'm going to make a very good wall. So he works very hard over the next 3 days, and brick by brick he positions it very carefully, puts the, whatever it's cement, and he puts the brick. And then he stands back to admire the wall. And he's very happy until he notices, oh my goodness, 2 bad bricks. One brick is jutting out, one brick is at an angle, something is off, oh my goodness. He goes running to the teacher, I want to break the wall and start again. He says, what happened? He says, no, there are 2 bad bricks. One is, misaligned, one is inside, one is at an angle. I want to do a perfect wall. I have to start again. He says, no, we have other things to do, come on, It's all right, leave it, we have other things to do. But he's not happy because whenever he walks past that wall, he feels, I can't even build a wall. How am I ever going to attain Buddhahood? How am I ever going to get enlightened? Something as simple as a wall I can't make. And his attention always goes to the 2 bad bricks, the 2 bad bricks, the 2 bad bricks. Now sometimes visitors come and it's his role to show them around the monastery. He makes it a point not to go past that wall. They shouldn't see the bad wall. But once in a while you can't help it. He has to walk past the wall. And one day it so happens, he's taking a visitor. And the visitor says, that's a nice wall, did you make it? And he says, sir, are you not wearing your glasses? Can you not see the 2 bad bricks? And what the visitor says next, my teacher said it changed his perspective. The visitor said, yeah, I can see the 2 bad bricks, but I can also see the 998 good bricks. And he was shocked. He said, oh my goodness. I've always been focusing on the 2 bad bricks, the 2 bad bricks, the 2 bad bricks. I never even noticed the 990. I'm not even a professional bricklayer. And I did my best, but my whole attention went to the 2 bad bricks. If you look at it in terms of percentage, 99.8% of the wall was perfect. 0.2% of the wall was not even unfunctional, a little bit misaligned. But his whole attention went there. That day he learned an important lesson. So I've been doing this my whole life. I have been looking at the 2 bad bricks my whole life. I'm going to give you the same concept in a slightly different way. It's called, and once in a while I like people to say things with me. Even the students have been doing this. So please say with me, the gap, and the gain. Now what is the gap? Wherever you are and where you want to be, in terms of your health, in terms of your wealth, in terms of your relationships, in terms of anything, even your spirituality. I'm here, I want to be there. And every time you measure and say, I'm not there yet, I'm not there yet, I'm not there yet. You are in the gap. This is the gap. I'm here, but I want to be there. By now, I should have been there. Other people have reached there. My friends have reached there. My uncle has reached there. My colleagues have reached there. I have not reached there. Whenever you measure like that, you're in the gap and you feel low. You feel sad, you feel depressed, you feel underconfident. I mean, even the kids here, all the students, they've done, I'm sure, fantastic work. But I know when they were looking at somebody else and saying, theirs is so nice. Mine is nothing compared. Then I bet they would feel, I'm in the wrong place. And they would say, मुझे तो निकालना ही नहीं पर्दा रख रहे हैं because they're comparing themselves. When you compare yourself, you always feel low. We have 5 fingers. Are they all not of different shapes, different sizes, different qualities? Every finger, thumb is short, but it has its own strengths. Little finger doesn't have much use, but good for cleaning the ear. I mean, every finger has its own good quality, right? And I'm sure no matter how much money someone pays you, you'll not say, cut my little finger. You say, no, even my little finger is valuable. I'm not gonna count that, right? So it's all valuable. Everything has its place. So comparison actually is meaningless. The Buddha's teachings has a very interesting teaching. He says, please say with me, if I think I'm better than someone, I'm deluded. If I think I'm worse than someone, I'm deluded. But here's what's interesting. He says, if I think I'm equal to someone, I'm deluded. The first 2 I said, yeah, makes sense. But he said, even if you think you're equal to someone, you're deluded. In other words, vibe, it is you are a once in a universal creation. Never has there been someone like you. I mean, you have to acknowledge that. It's real. Right? Even twins, they say, don't have identical. There are some, even identical twins have some differences. They're not exactly the same. So how fascinating that is. So now the gap is measuring where I am to where I want to be, and that makes me feel low and sad and like a failure and not good enough. If you go far enough, you'll start being depressed. I will never reach there. But there's something called the gain. And what's the gain? Where did we begin? And look at how far we've come. So I bet all the students here, if you ask yourself, where did I begin? Before I came to SIA, before I got into all of this, where I began and where I've come, you will instantly feel, wow, what an amazing journey it's been. How good it feels. We have come such a long way. I lived as a monk, and I had teachers who were like so virtuous, and they had achieved all kinds of things, and they were so wise and so learned. When I was a monk, I'd sometimes come to Pune and give a talk. And people would say, wow, your knowledge is so deep. Yeah, my knowledge is so deep. Then I'd go back to my monastery and I'd hear my teacher speak, and I'd say, oh my God, my knowledge is nothing. I mean, what depth of knowledge, what fantastic wisdom. I'm not even a beginner compared to it. Right? So, but when I focus on the journey I've made, from where I began to where I've come, then I feel, wow, it's been a good journey. We've learned so much, we've done so much, we've accomplished so much. So the lesson here is, you visualize your ideal, definitely, have a goal, have an ideal, but don't measure against the ideal. Why? Because your ideal will always keep moving. Will always keep moving. You've heard of the story of what is it called? You hang a carrot, you dangle a carrot in front of the what? Is it the rabbit or the tortoise? Tortoise? Rabbit, then the rabbit will keep on, but it'll never catch the carrot because there'll always be a stick, right? So you hang the carrot, but you never reach the carrot. You will never reach your ideal. And if you reach your ideal, I would be very sorry for you that now you've lost your purpose of living. People who have a goal like, I want to win an Olympic medal, and they actually win the Olympic medal, you know what they tell us? The next day they wake up depressed. This is true. Because they thought winning that Olympic medal will suddenly solve all their problems. Everybody will love them, everybody will forgive them, everybody will accept them, and they will feel perfectly good after that. But the reality is outer things never solve anything. So, measure the gain and visualize the ideal. But do not measure the ideal. If you measure the ideal, you will forever feel depressed. I was looking at the symbol of Sia, it's a triangle. And the wonderful dot, which I'm going to call the dot of awareness, the dot of attention. So I'll share 3 powerful ways to focus your attention. And I've learned this from my own experience. So one place to focus your attention, you can focus on the gap or the gain. In other words, you can focus on what's missing in your life. By now I should have achieved this, done this, become this, but I haven't. That's the gap. Instead you flip it and you focus on the gain. Look at how far we've come. Look at how amazing it is. So this is called focusing on gratitude. I was once with some Japanese people and they said something I found very fascinating. They said, please say with me, if you say thank you, 1 million times, the whole universe is transformed forever. I was like, how can my saying thank you transform the universe? I mean, that doesn't make sense. This is some kind of andhashraddha, some kind of superstition. I will say thank you, the universe will get transformed. That doesn't make sense. But then I thought about it more deeply. What does it mean? What is the universe? We are told in school, we are on planet Earth, then there's a sun, then there are other planets, then there's a galaxy, then there are many galaxies, then there's a universe, and some people say there are many universes, there's a multiverse, all right. But that is the universe you're taught in school. What's the actual universe? Your actual universe is what you're seeing, what you're hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking. Have you ever seen any universe beyond this? This is the only universe you actually live in, isn't it? The universe of your senses, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and the universe of your mind. You can call it extrasensory, but it's still a kind of a sensory representation. That's the only universe. Now, when I say thank you again and again, what am I saying? I'm saying, I appreciate this. I like this. This is a blessing. What I see is a blessing. What I hear is a blessing. What I smell, taste, touch, this is a blessing. I was once in Bombay and I was going to give a talk. And the person said, Nithya, can I stop the car? I said, what happened? He said, my family temple is here. We always stop. I said, do we have time? He said, we have time. Let's stop the car. So we stopped the car. And before we get out of the car, he says, I have to tell you something. I said, please tell. He says, I've come to this temple for 30 years. And in 30 years, I have never once asked for anything. I said, really? Most people go to the temple to ask for something. What do you do in the temple? He says, I just go and say thank you. I said, I'll also join you. So we got out of the car, and most Hindu temples have many deities. You have to cover all the different faiths. So they have many deities. So you go to each deity. So Ganesha, we say, thank you, Ganesha. And we go to Shivji and say, thank you, Shivji. And we go to Ram Bhagwan and thank you, Ram. And thank you, thank you, thank you. And no one asked, he didn't ask for anything, I didn't ask for anything. And how beautiful. I said, how beautiful. All he did was thank you, thank you, thank you. And I thought about it, 30 years, anyone's life, if you spend 30 years, you will have ups and downs. Who can go through 30 years or even 30 days without ups and downs? But he said, I never asked for anything, I just said thank you. I said, that's the attitude. Gratitude is the greatest attitude. So the triangle, one of the corners of the triangle represents focus on gratitude. Focus on what's right as opposed to what's missing. The gains you have made are real. Where you should be is an imagination. It's an unreal thing. Should have happened, could have happened. Yeah, should have, could have, but it hasn't, right? It hasn't. So what is real. Life rewards you for focusing on reality. And life punishes you for focusing on, unconsciously, focusing on fantasy. If you consciously do it, it's not a problem. So that's the first place. This is the first place to put your mind. So throughout the day, when your mind goes into the gap, bring it back into the gain. Look at the journey we've made. Look at how far we've come. Look at what we've achieved, right? Also with your children and with everybody in your life. Are you focusing on what's missing all the time? Are you focusing on what's there all the time? Connection happens when we focus on what's there. The second triangle, second end of the triangle. Please say with me. Focus on the now. Another word for now is present. When I was in school, I was in St. Vincent's School for a while here in Pune, and they would do attendance. So they would say the name, and everybody would say present man, present man. And in the beginning I said, but where is the present? Because present for me meant a gift. So I used to be very confused because I didn't know present means I'm here, right? So they say present. I said, "Ye present ka hai? Mujhe to present mila nahi." Present. Then I realized, okay, present means I'm here. But look, it actually also means it's a gift, isn't it? Present does mean present. Present means it's a gift. There are many people your age who did not wake up this morning. Not because they're lazy, but because it's over. Right? So there's a lovely quote I read once. So please say with me, this morning, I opened two gifts. They were my eyes. Isn't it amazing? These are two gifts. You open the gift and the world appears. Boom. That's it. So the second powerful place to focus your attention is on the now. And I asked my teacher, but the now is so small. I mean, there's a minute, there's a second, there's a moment, and now is even smaller than that. He said, no, you got it wrong. I said, really? Why is it wrong? He said, the now is so big. The entire universe fits in it. The now is so big. All your past memories fit in it. I can ask you, where were you living when you were 10 years old? And after a bit of scratching your head, you say, I was living in Pune, I was living in Sholapur, I was living wherever. You will tell me why, because your past is also here only. And I'll tell you, what are your plans after this, 1 year later, 2 years later, 10 years later. You will tell me something, your future is also. So you know what my teacher did? He completely flipped it. He said, no. You're thinking the now is small. The now is huge, immeasurable. The now is so big, everything fits in it. Everything else is an imagination. My teacher said to me, please say with me, nothing can trouble me, but my own imagination. If you have to use your imagination, use it to support you and not to crush you. Right? So I'm pretty sure the students today have used their imagination to support themselves grow and to come up with a powerful vision. But if you use it to compare yourself and all of that, then you crush yourself. That's not going to help us. And the last place to focus, and this is a little bit difficult to understand because you actually cannot understand it, but nevertheless I will tell you. So please say with me, focus. On what is focusing. Oh, this is very, what do I focus on here? Because everything else I can focus on, right? I can focus on a painting, I can focus on a child, I can focus on a chair. And the more I focus on it, the more it'll reveal nature, it'll reveal qualities, characteristics, many things. The more you focus, any of you here who've done well in life, chances are you focused on something. Some of you are doctors, some of you are lawyers, some of you are business people. And you focus, and you've learned more and more and more. And the Buddha says, any field of knowledge will keep on expanding like an ocean. Keep on expanding. It never ends. The more you learn, the more there is to learn. So, but there is one field of knowledge which has an ending. And what is that? He says, when you turn the attention back to what is focusing, that's the one that has an ending. Why? Because it ends in now. It ends in this. It ends in a mystery. You shift from a history into a mystery. We're going to make a lot of mistakes. And there's a lovely, sometimes I don't read books. I just read the title of the book. Because the author has put a lot of attention to put that title. The title has a lot of juice in it, right? So there's a book I read, I just saw the title of, please say with me, The one who makes the most mistakes wins. So what a nice motto of life. The motto of life is the one who makes the most mistakes wins. Why? Because the more mistakes you make, the better you get. The more versatile you get. Before becoming a monk, I did an MBA. And we had this funny saying in MBA that MBAs work for dropouts. It's actually true. Those of you who are MBAs will understand, right? Because dropouts were told you're good for nothing, nothing will happen, you're useless at school, useless at college, misbehaved. And now, because nobody expects anything from them, they can try, they can take risks. Because as it is, nobody expects anything. So they've got no reputation to take care of. People who are very good in studies, they say, how can you, can't imagine. So then they always come back and study. So they're very afraid of making mistakes, they never take risks. They play the safe game. When you play the safe game, you don't really expand much. So MBAs work for dropouts. The one who makes the most mistakes wins. And in spirituality, we have a word for this. Someone who makes a lot of mistakes and still loves themselves, loves life, is called, please say with me, mystic. So make lots and lots of mistakes and love yourself anyway, love life anyway, and that's a mystic. And a mystic has understood this triangle that I was showing you. The triangle of focus on what's there, focus on what's beautiful. In India, it's called Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. Satyam means truth. Shivam actually means auspicious or good. And Sundaram means beautiful. Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. If you want to be happy, bring your attention to Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. Focus on what's good, beautiful, and true, good, and beautiful. Focus on what's here, what's now. Focus on the present. And focus on what's focusing. And that's the essence of the mystery school that we've been exploring with all the students. I feel very grateful, like I said, to Sarita, Sharayu, and all the students. I've really enjoyed all my interactions with them. And maybe sometime we can invite the parents also to come and attend. The only rule is you have to come not as a parent, you have to just come as a participant. Because I make them do all kinds of things. You cannot come there and say, no, I'll just watch. No, you can't watch, you have to participate. There's a nice saying that, some people, say it with me, some people make things happen. Some people watch things happen. And some people say, what happened? So I want you to be like the first kind of person. You make things happen. And once in a while you can watch things happen. But don't just say what happened, right? So today is the role of the students to show us what they've been doing, and we will learn from all of them. And I think I will complete my sharing here. You want to hear my bell one more time? Yes. Okay. Let's all take a deep breath. And please say with me, how wonderful.